Welcome to the stage, Sydney Grutters.
Wow. Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This is amazing on a Monday morning. I don't know anyone else other than our next governor, Byron Donalds, who could get this crowd. Thank you for being here. My name is Sydney Grutters, and it's the honor of a lifetime to be running for Congress here in Florida's 16th District. I have to first just thank all of you. I see so many familiar faces. You all are in the trenches. You are working at early voting sites. I'm sure you will be working tomorrow. And we cannot be successful without you. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's because of you that we will be successful tomorrow. And it's because of you we will be successful in November. I see candidates in the room. Also, raise your hand. Give us, where are you? You're all here. Thank you for, hey, Michelle, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for sacrificing and putting yourself out there. It is hard work. And the most important thing is after Tuesday, we all unite. We have to unite after Tuesday. So that is my commitment. And I call every candidate and every group, we must all unite for the same purpose as conservatives in November. Gold Coast Eagle, Hugh, John Saputo, thank you for opening your doors. Always, you guys always say yes, and you are a great partner. I am so honored to be standing here, and again, I can't thank you all enough. At this time, I'm going to call the Vice Mayor of Bradenton, Jane Coker, to lead us in a prayer.
If you could bow your heads. Heavenly Father, as we gather today, we ask for wisdom, patience, and humility in a season marked by strong opinions and spirited debate. Help us to listen with respect, speak with kindness, and seek truth above division. Guide our decisions for the good of those we serve. Remind us that even when we disagree, we are neighbors and members of one community. Grant us clarity of mind, integrity of purpose, and a commitment to work together for the common good. We ask your blessing on all those who step forward to serve, and especially every candidate who has the courage to put their names forward and seek the trust of their fellow citizens. Give us strength, wisdom, and encouragement, and help us to support and respect all who are willing to answer the call to public service. Bless this gathering and guide us as we make our choices for leadership. May we always remember that we are stronger when we seek common ground and work together for the good of our community. We ask all this in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Now, please join me in welcoming State Representative Fiona McFarland.
What a great Monday. Thank you all for starting your week with us here today. And how cool is it that Byron Donalds is picking our region to start his election, primary election week with? That's fantastic. I see a lot of people that were out at the polls over the weeks. We got a lot of sunburns out there. We're almost through the primary push. Candidates, great job. Supporters, great job. Way to keep our party strong. I'm going to lead us in the pledge here, so if you're able, please stand and join me. And as we do this, everyone who is on the ballot has decided that they want to serve their region and their country. So let's remember our pledge to our country as we recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, next up, my dear, dear friend who serves in the Senate across the rotunda from me up in Tallahassee, Senator Jim Boyd. He has been a mentor to so many people seeking to serve the Republican Party and serve our state, whether it's in Sarasota or Manitou or frankly across the state of Florida. As we gear up to have Byron Donalds as our next governor, Jim Boyd will be leading the Senate. And what a fantastic team these two gentlemen will make leading the future of our state. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Jim Boyd.
Thank you very much. A lot of people call her representative. Some people call her chairman because she chairs a big committee in the House. I call her commander because of her, excuse my language, badass service to our country. Everybody here today for our next governor, Byron Donalds? I've only got just a brief period of time, but it's so good to see my colleagues and friends and locals that are serving our community. So thank you all for being here as well. And thank you to John and Hugh and Andrea for hosting this event. Always takes great care of us. Just real briefly, I go back to, I think it was 2016 with our next governor. He came into the Florida House in 2016 along with our Republican National Chairman, Joe Gruters, and I'd been there for maybe 6 years at that point. But what I learned about Byron right away was he was thoughtful, he was kind, he was collaborative, he knew how to work with the party, with our party and with the other party to get things done. Most importantly, he's a conservative of strong values, he's a strong family man. He's going to be a great leader for our state. Sam Garrison, my partner in the House, will be the Speaker of the House when we move into the presidency this coming November. Sam and I both share the passion to serve Florida in a grand way. We could not be happier that we're going to be able to do that with Byron Donalds. So tomorrow's a big day. I know it's going to be a big day for a lot of us and a lot of you in the room. It'll be a big day for our next governor. But then we have to work really hard to get across the finish line in November. The other side will throw all kind of things at us, and they'll be effective. And we've got to be stronger. We've got to be better prepared, and we have to be better financed. And we will be, because we are the party in Florida and across the country that serves our constituents. We care about families, we care about people, and we're going to do it in a grand way in Florida. So thank you for helping us today acknowledge the upcoming win of our next governor, but thank you more importantly for what you've already done and what you're going to do over the next several months to help Republicans win. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the next speaker. I thought this morning when I drove up here I was going to get to introduce Congressman Luna from St. Pete. I was kind of excited. I've never been able to do that. She's kind of a bad, you know what, as well. And then when I rolled in, they said, you get to introduce Joe. And I went, well, what happened? Did I say something? Do something wrong? Did I make somebody mad? Seriously, Joe Gruters is probably, for sure, he's my closest political friend, but one of my closest friends in this world. He is always there. He is always supportive. He is always there with good counsel and smart counsel. He's also leading our country, as you know, in the National Republican Party in grand way. We're going to have a big year in November across the country. I'm sure he'll speak to that. But please help me welcome my dear friend and the congressman's husband, Joe Gruters.
How about Jim Boyd here? This guy is an absolute superstar. If you guys haven't seen him in action in Tallahassee, he literally crushes it. And for the next 2 years, he's going to be the second most powerful person in the entire state. So if you have any projects, you have any community things that you want, he's the guy to go talk to because he's going to make it happen. And listen, it's not easy to become a presiding officer of the Florida House or the Senate. It's a big deal. And the fact that our area has one coming up and has a guy that's as nice and as grounded as Jim Boyd. I always said, serving in the Senate with him, it was great because we got a lot of things done together. But he was so successful and he's so well liked. It's tough because everybody loves him, and I get all the leftovers. But for all my colleagues down here, it's great to see you. Thank you for your service. All the candidates out there, thank you for running. Are we excited about this November? Do we love President Donald J. Trump? How about Byron Donalds? So we love Byron Donalds as our next governor. I'll tell you, the November 3rd is going to come and go like this. And the state of Florida, I tell you, it's great to be a Republican here in Florida, right? Do you guys agree? Who here did not live in Florida 10 years ago? Raise your hand. Look at this. This is all because the direct result of courageous leadership and principled conservative leadership. And I had the fortune, as Jim Boyd said, Senator Boyd, he basically said that we got elected together, Byron Donalds and I. In 2016, we both ran for the state house. We both got elected, and we both went to Tallahassee to make a difference. And here's a guy, Byron Donalds ended up sitting next to me and ended up doing these amazing things. I say he has one of the best, he probably has on the Republican side, not just in our area, not just in our state, but the entire country. He has one of the best abilities to communicate a message to the American people. And I think that's why his constituents rallied behind him when there was an open congressional seat. And that's why he's been picked from day one, from when we got elected to the state house. He ran the most important bills that year. When he went to Congress, he runs the most important bills and the most consequential bills. And you know what happened when Donald Trump was running for president in 2024? Byron Donalds was an absolute machine. He went to every single television station. Now, if you watch the news on the weekends, you may see me on Fox, Newsmax, News Nation. Byron Donalds goes to the heart of the other side and goes on CNN, MSNBC, CBS, CNN, all these, the more liberal bent stations. And he brought the truth to the American people. And I think he's a large reason why the president had so much success in his campaign. And when he decided to run for governor, when the president gave him that support, I knew he was going to do lights out as a candidate. Because at the end, you got to remember, and I see a lot of candidates, a lot of friends in here. And first off, thank you for being here, right? Thank you for participating in the process. I'm going to give you 2 tidbits before I bring them up here. Number one, if you want to get further involved, go to protectthevote.com. Join our efforts. We already have more poll workers and poll watchers than we've had in the 2024 cycle. The Democrats are trying to cheat, lie, and steal their way to victory every single day, and we got to fight that. Number two, we have this thing called the GOP convention, the midterm convention. It's never been done before in the history of the party. Do you know that only 4 times in the last 150 years we've been able to defy history in terms of majority party holding on? I'm telling you right here that we're going to win the midterms. As all the doom and gloom that you hear, it starts with candidate quality. And across the country, with the president endorsing people like Byron Donalds and my wife, Sydney Gruters, listen, the candidate quality is off the chart. We're going against radical leftists who have extreme views. And then when it comes to resources, the party has more money than we've ever had in the history of the party. Ever in the history of the party. And then we have the best showman that's ever existed in politics in Donald J. Trump. I traveled with him all last week, and we are going to barnstorm the country. We're going to go to district and make sure we turn out our low propensity voters, because that's what it's going to take. Just like you're showing up here today on a Monday morning, we need people to show up the 30 days leading into the November 3rd election, because it's a rising tide lifts all ships. We have 4 open congressional seats right here in Florida. We may end up with 8 or 9 new congressmen, but we have 4 due to the redistricting. Byron Donalds, by being the leader that he is, and you got to remember, a rising tide lifts all ships. When he does well, we all do well. And as if you have a primary candidate that you were backing that you didn't like, or that fell a little bit short, come together, support the team. We have to be completely united, because you know what? The left is united. And they're fundamentally trying to change our country. And we can't let that happen. And the best guy that we have on our side leading that effort, and he's going to go to places much further than governor of the state of Florida, because Byron Donalds is, like I said, one of the best communicators we've ever had in our party. He's a courageous fighter when it comes to fighting for conservative issues. And he's willing to put his political capital on the line when it counts, not when it doesn't count. It's easy to come in at the last second and say, oh, I support this when it's going to pass. Byron Donalds is the leader on these issues from the get-go. Byron Donalds is going to be the next governor of the state of Florida. He's the president's close friend. Let's give him a huge Sarasota welcome and welcome our next Florida governor, Byron Donalds.
Thank you, sir. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Sarasota County, is great to be with all of you. But before I even say a word, let me introduce you to the next First Lady of the great state of Florida, Erica Donalds.
Wow, good morning. One more day for this primary, right? And then we get on to the next big fight and the next big race. But man, I appreciate you all so much. It's Monday morning and you are here bright and early. Thankful for your support, your prayers, all of your efforts to get us to this point. We are so excited. We are so excited. And we feel the excitement from you as well. So that is much appreciated. You know, as I'm on the campaign trail with Byron, of course, it's so much fun. People are saying, are you having a good time? Yes, I get to do this with my best friend. One of the best things about politics is all of the people that you get to meet. People who love our country, who love our state, who just want the very best for our communities, our children, and the future of the amazing state that we live in. I mean, what's better than that? To be around like-minded, especially conservatives in a Republican primary, right? So thank you. And I think back, Byron and I met when we were 19 and 21 years old at Florida State University. Go Noles. I know. We love all of our colleges now. We love them all. But there is a special place in our hearts, of course, for Florida State where we met, and we were just kids. We were working our way through college. Both of us had to have full-time jobs in order to put ourselves through college and to pay our own bills. And when we graduated college, we moved to Naples, we got married, we had our first child, all within about 18 months of one another, because we knew everything then. We were ready to go. So we thought. But it was right after September 11th, and so we went into an economy when we graduated that was very difficult. Many of you remember that time, and especially people in the financial world. He was a finance major, I was an accounting major. And so when we're talking about affordability with a lot of these young people and young families who are struggling, who want solutions, we've been there. We know what it was like. We bought a home in 2007 thinking that we got a great deal when we bought it in foreclosure, only to see the bottom drop out the very next year and being underwater in that home for many years and having to work our way out of that. We've had college debt where we had to take a Dave Ramsey course and snowball our way out of it, right? We've been there. But the good news is we live in a great state, in the best country in the world. And thanks to education and the American dream, we were able to work our way out of debt, work our way through a difficult time, through economic challenges in the country, and build an amazing life for ourselves and our family. We've been able to raise 3 kids here in Florida. Our boys are now 22, 19, and 15. They're in college, out of college, going into high school. They've been able to get a great education because we, the parents, have been able to direct where they get to go to school, thanks to school choice here in Florida. But the dream that we've realized, the Florida dream that we have realized, and the one that we want for our children, your children, and all of our grandchildren, is that they can grow up here, get a great education, go to college if they choose, find a trade, start a business, and raise an amazing family and have a great quality of life and build generational wealth here in Florida. And everything that we are doing is so that every child and every family can achieve the Florida dream here. So thank you for your support. Thank you for getting out to vote tomorrow if you haven't voted already. And we look forward to serving you and making sure that the Florida dream is alive and well for all of us. Thank you.
She's amazing. Side note, this really just came to my mind, so I'm gonna just go with it. I used to wonder sometimes when I would watch somebody on stage and their wife is speaking, and I'm like, why did he kiss her on the cheek? Like, they're married, right? It's the lipstick. Like, it literally just, because honey, you're beautiful, but you know, and then I'll be up here rubbing my, and then it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Thank you for being with me in this journey. I really appreciate it. I really do. You know, this happens often when we'll be around the state, or quite frankly, even sometimes around the country, when you meet veterans who gave everything for this country and they're with their spouse. So often we always thank the veteran for putting the uniform on and doing what a lot of us did not do, which was serve this great nation and to make sure that the Constitution, which is the greatest governing document ever created by man, can continue to thrive because of the service of the men and women who serve this country. And they always deserve our support and our thanks for what they've done. Always. Always. But I also always have to remember to thank the spouses. Because while our servicemen are around the world being deployed, training all the time, focused on the security of this nation, it's the spouses who typically are at home, keeping the family going day in and day out. And so when I look at my wife on this wild journey that's been politics for the last decade now, there's been so many times in Tallahassee or in Washington, D.C., or like Joe was talking about, on the road for President Trump and doing what you can to fight for this country. And you realize that back home, those kids that are now 22, 19, and 15, when we started this journey, they were 12, 9, and 5. And so to my wife, I want to thank you so much for all that you've done. Thank you. You saw the chairman up here. Chairman, it is great to see you, always. I've known Joe Gruters, geez, we've known each other for almost 15 years now. Joe Gruters and I, when we got elected to the Florida House, we were on the 11th floor in the Capitol building. I affectionately call that tower the Tower of No Power. Because when you're up there, you just realize that the Capitol is on the 4th floor. I mean, the chambers are on the 4th floor with the Speaker of the House and the Senate President. And Senate President Boyd is with us here. Thank you for being here, my friend. And that's where Senate and House leadership are. They're on the 4th floor. The governor, the CFO, the Attorney General, and the Agriculture Commissioner, they're on the 1st floor. And they put all those young freshmen, they put you on the 11th floor and higher. So you are far removed from the decision making. It is the Tower of No Power. But, you know, I've known him a long time. He's a great friend. And by the way, Joe, very happy for your wife, Sydney Gruder. Sydney, go ahead, stand up. Sydney, come here for a second. Just come on up. Come on, Sydney. She's going to do a great job on Capitol Hill as your next member of Congress. She's going to do a great job. And no pressure, but I'll be watching.
Call me anytime.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm a little nostalgic. It's been a very interesting campaign. And we are now one more day until Republicans decide the next nominee for governor. One day. And over these last 18 months, we've been crisscrossing Florida, talking to voters, really hearing from the people what matters to you, what needs to be done. And through all the different topics, whether it's affordability, whether it's balancing the beauty of our state, talking about what comes next in Florida, just the quality of life, all those issues, the one thing that always kind of resonated through it all to me is that Florida is not just the best state in America, it is the state where dreams come true today in America. It's the state. 50 years ago, that state was California, and they destroyed the place. And they destroyed it with terrible policy and, quite frankly, stupidity. And people are now leaving California in droves. California leads the nation in ex-migration. More people are leaving California than any other state in America. But the state that leads the nation of people coming in is Florida. And they come to our state because we are always have been based on common sense and conservative principles. We are the state that has been based on law and order and backing the blue. And thank these sheriff deputies who are in the back corner right now, because they're in the back corner here in Sarasota County, and they keep us safe. We are the state that told the rest of America that no, parents are at the head of the table when it comes to their kids. It's not going to be about bureaucrats and Tallahassee. It's going to be about mom and dad directing the future of their children. And under the leadership of Governor Ron DeSantis, who has done a great job as governor, we were also the state that looked Fauci in the eye and said, hell no, we're going to be free. So we have a lot to celebrate, but we still have more work to do. Listen, I've been all through Florida. Insurance is a problem. Doesn't matter where you are. You can be in Pensacola, Florida. You can be in Key Largo, Florida. You could be in the Keys. It doesn't matter. You could be in Jacksonville or you could be down here in Southwest Florida. Everybody knows we have more work to do. The governor and the legislature did great work around tort reform. We're going to keep that in place. But we're also going to reform the marketplace to make sure we can push costs down. We also want to provide more information to consumers because you want to know that when you're paying those premiums, that insurance carrier is going to be with you through the storm and after the storm. And so we want to make sure that our marketplace continues to thrive while pushing down costs 20% for the people of Florida. And we can do that. And we're going to get that done. Property taxes is in your hands now. You're going to decide. But let me tell you this. Number one principle, we're going to make sure that our officers and our firefighters get the pay that they need because they keep us safe. But we also need to make sure that people get relief. So whether this passes or fails this November, we're going to bring this back through the Tax and Budget Commission next year. We're going to study all taxes and fees in Florida. We're going to set a goal of finally eliminating homestead property taxes in our state. And if we can't get there, because the math has still got to math, if we can't get there, then we are going to target that relief to seniors on fixed income and working families in our state, because they need to be able to afford the Florida dream too. When it comes to housing, we have to be more efficient in how we build it while also balancing the beauty that has made Florida the envy of the other 49 states. I live further south from you guys here in Sarasota. I live in Naples. And I remember 12 years ago when blue-green algae blooms were off the coast, off the Caloosahatchee River. It devastated the Southwest Florida economy. People were just saying, I just can't go because I'm afraid of what I'm seeing on TV. So even though we're going to continue to expand our economy in Florida, we are going to protect the environment of Florida. We are going to protect our environment. Because if you don't have fresh water and if you don't have just beautiful beaches, our economy will suffer in this state. So we're going to have to do the hard work of managing both. And I know there are people who will say, well, Byron, we're tired of the growth. Just build a wall. I got a couple guys down here. These guys down front are clapping. They're like, yeah, build that wall. President Trump's building that wall on our southern border. He's building the wall. But we have this thing called the Constitution. So we can't build a wall between Florida and Georgia. I know there's a lot of Gators who are very upset about that. We can't do that. But what we can do is we have a plan and a strategy for how we manage the growth while making sure our young kids have a shot at home ownership and building a family for themselves. You see, when you're having to lead, it's about having a strategy and a plan, not a bumper sticker or a talking point, because that sounds good in politics, but it's not the real world. In the real world, if places are growing, that actually means they're successful. I've never seen a church or a family or a business get better by not growing. I've never seen that in my life. And so what we need to do is balance it, make sure we protect quality of life in our state, make sure we protect our natural resources in our state while preparing for the future. I know this is on the mind of everybody, data centers. I know it's on everybody's mind. But let's be very clear. We are going to protect the utility rates of Floridians. You're not going to pay for a hyperscale data center. You're not going to do it. It is state law today in Florida that your utility bills will not go up. It is also state law in Florida that they have to get a consumptive use permit for water. The same way planned unit developments have to get a consumptive use permit for water. The same way industries that bottle beverages in our state have to get a consumptive use permit for water. By the way, we have businesses in our state that bottle water out of our aquifer and sell it back to you. It happens today in Florida. We've been issuing these permits for use for a long, long time in Florida because we know that fresh water is critical to the future of our state. And so we are going to protect the people of Florida and our interests because that's critical to the future of our state and continuing to take the Florida dream to a whole nother level. And that's what we're going to do. When it comes to the economy, we're the 14th largest in the world. And we are on the trajectory to being the 10th largest economy on the face of this planet. That's where we're going. About 18 months ago, I made a statement that Florida was going to be the financial hub of the world. And most people at the time said, what's he talking about? Folks, let me just tell you, I don't skate to where the puck is. I skate to where the puck is going. And then I also got to admit, Joe, we've had some help because they elected Mamdani. And so you now have seen business leaders, longtime business leaders in finance have said, I can't take it anymore. I have to go to a place that just makes sense. And they're choosing Florida. That's what they're choosing. Some of them, if you talk to them, they're like, man, I should have left during COVID. But now I got to leave. He raised his hand. Yep, that's what I did. It's John, right? John is basically like, man, I should have left during COVID. But you got out. That's what's happening in our state. There's a place a couple of hours away from here called Kennedy Space Center. Anybody ever heard of it? Oh, yeah. Who's been there? Oh, wow, a lot of you guys. Well, let me just tell you, it's not a museum anymore. It is the most active spaceport in the Western Hemisphere, right here in Florida, right here. I was at NASA the other day with the new administrator for NASA, Jared Isaacman. And he's talking about how we're not just going to be the most active spaceport in the Western Hemisphere, but we're going to have more industry, more manufacturing, more construction for commercial space here in Florida. So we won't just be shooting rockets to the moon, we'll be building them in the Sunshine State. And those jobs are not just for engineering. Those jobs are not just for scientists. Those are jobs for welders and electricians and machinists and contractors. These are high-paying jobs that young people in our state can actually build a family around, can own a home with, can build a dream for themselves. And this is where Florida's economy is going, while protecting our agriculture lands. Because let's be clear, we feed ourselves. When you go to Publix, some of the food you're getting off the shelf was grown on farms in Sarasota County, in Palm Beach County, in Lee County, in Hendry County, through the EAA, south of Lake Okeechobee. So when we talk about balance, it is the future of our economy while protecting the agriculture, which is critical to our state. We do it all in Florida. We used to just be an ag state. Then we became a retirement state. Then we became a tourist state. We're an everything state now. An everything state. And so together, our job is simple. We are number one, and we have to stay number one. That's the job in front of us. When I talk about the future and I talk about the Florida dream, this is not just about 4 years of a governor's term. This is about the next 30 years of our state. If you look back, I'm 47 now. I moved here when I was 17. The last 30 years, I've seen Florida go from a blue state to the best red state in all of America. Over the last 30 years, I've watched our population grow from about 8 million to 23.5 million. That's what's happened in Florida the last 30 years. Over the last 30 years, we have seen what's happened when you allow people to be free and you have common sense conservative government. And over the last 30 years, we have really raised the bar when it comes to the education of our kids. I remember those early fights against Common Core. Remember those, Erica? I remember those early fights when we wanted to get woke indoctrination out of our schools. When I was in the Florida House with Joe, I passed the first bill of its kind in America that allowed parents and community members to see the instructional materials in front of our children. This was before anybody said anything about DEI and CRT. People didn't know what it was, but we've been in those trenches fighting for parents and fighting for our kids to get the very best. But now we have to take it to another level. We are going to build a world-class K-12 education system here in Florida. World-class. Our goal is that our children master math, reading, and writing by the time they graduate high school. Our goal is that every child in our state, if their parents choose to be a part, because parents have to choose, the state is not going to tell you what to do with your kids. But if parents choose, we want to have personalized success plans for the children in our state. Because as a father of 3, I know no 2 children are the same. And each child deserves to have a plan for their success. And in our state, we are going to make sure that our kids have a launch pad into their careers. If they're not going to the University of Florida or Florida State, if they're not going to go to the University of South Florida, that we want to make sure they have access to apprenticeships and internships, on-the-job training, so that when they graduate high school, they're walking directly into a job so they can build the Florida dream for themselves. You see, the things that we talk about in this campaign are about protecting the beauty of our great state, but preparing it for its future. And nothing will prepare Florida more than making sure that our kids are prepared to take the mantle of leadership, whether that's in business, whether they're entrepreneurs, whether that's in government, or whether it's in communities. That's the future of Florida's success. It is the future success of our children. So one more day in this campaign. Who's voted again? Beautiful. The rest of you, you need to get out and vote. Tomorrow. Go vote tomorrow. Because once this primary is over, and I think Bill said in about 34 hours or so, in hour 35, we are one party, and we are one movement. Let's be very clear about what the Democrats are now doing. They're running this guy named David Jolly. Oh, you've heard of him now. Because about a month ago, nobody ever heard of him. David Jolly is a Trojan horse for the Democrat Socialists of America. Make no mistake about it. This is a guy who says it's still okay to transgender our kids and to steal their puberty. I thought we already worked this out in 2024, Joe. I thought the American people were loud and clear that young girls are to grow up to be young women, and young boys are to grow up to be men who are going to become the future leaders of our country. Absolutely. But David Jolly and the radical left still think it's okay to transgender kids. Well, I'm telling you, with no equivocation, as governor, we are going to protect the puberty of our children. David Jolly believes it's okay for boys to play in girls' sports. It's just him and the WNBA now that think this. This is just crazy. Everybody already knows that makes no sense. Boys are bigger, stronger, and faster. That's just a fact of life. And I know the radical left keeps trying to remake society, but we conservatives, and quite frankly, we people who just believe in common sense, we just want to raise our kids and be left alone. That's all we want, is to raise our families and be left alone. And so we're going to continue to protect the sports of young girls. We're not going to have boys in locker rooms, and we're not going to have boys competing against girls. That's not the standard in Florida. David Jolly has said that Dr. Fauci has unimpeachable judgment. Fauci. He said this. When Ron DeSantis opened our state and let us be free from the radicalism of Fauci and the public health establishment, David Jolly packed his bags and went to Pennsylvania. And he criticized Ron DeSantis every step of the way on CNN and MSNBC. So anybody who chooses Fauci over Florida does not deserve to lead our state into the future. You see, folks, every 4 years, we have to choose the future direction of our state. We have told the Democrats time and time again for the last 30 years that they do not have the judgment, they do not have the policy, and they do not have the cultural beliefs like you and I do to lead Florida into the future. And in 78 days, you are going to go to the polls again, and you're going to tell the Democrats, hell no. because they can keep that crazy in California. They can have the idiocy of Chicago. And they are going to make sure that AOC and Mamdani stay in New York. But they're not going to have power in the great state of Florida. Are you with me, Sarasota? Well, God bless you, Sarasota. God bless you. And God bless America. It was supposed to start on this side. Why? Because they're going to go out this way. Let's put them over here. All right, I'll shoot over. Which side? I mean, they're all on this side, so. Yeah, it's not working.